So you got the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and now you're wondering, how do I really get the full use of the benefits that this card has to offer? Because let's be real, you're probably only taking advantage of about half of what this card can actually offer you, right? So let me walk you through every benefit and show you exactly how to squeeze every last dollar out of it. Let's start with the easiest win here, because this one practically pays for the card itself. Every card member year, you get up to $100 back in a statement credit on hotels booked through the Chase travel portal. It's automatic, there's no checkbox or activation that you need to do, but you must book the hotel in the Chase travel portal on Chase's website. And a couple of days later, the credit hits your statement automatically. But there's two things to know up front. First, you only earn points on the part of the stay that you pay out of pocket. So on a $150 hotel, the $100 credit knocks it down to $50, and so you'll earn your points on that $50 out of pocket, not the full $150. Second of all is that if you don't use the full $100 on one booking, the remainder carries over to your next hotel booking, but it all resets on your card anniversary. It doesn't accumulate or carry over year after year. I don't know how you'll find a hotel room less than $100, but hey, it happens. And now you might have heard horror stories about booking through any travel portal, including Chase's, and there are two main concerns associated with this. One is that portal prices can run higher than booking directly with the hotel. And this is sometimes true, sometimes not. It really just depends. So comparison shop on anything pricey would be my recommendation. Two is that you're going to go through a middleman. So if something goes sideways at check-in, you can sometimes get stuck between Chase and the hotel pointing at each other. So here's how I personally dodge both of these problems here. I usually save this credit for a quick, cheap one-off stay, something like an airport hotel, and then I try to land as close to that $100 mark as possible, so it's basically a free night. And about a week before, I'll call the hotel directly or make sure that it registers on an app like the IHG app if I'm staying at a Holiday Inn. And so I'll just confirm the reservation is within their system, either by calling them or through the app. And so that way this minimizes the chance of any last minute surprises here. So that's the easy benefit. The next one is about how to earn extra points. And most people are leaving some extra points on the table here. This card offers 5x on travel through the Chase's travel portal, 3x on dining, 3x on online groceries, except at Walmart and Target. Plus you get 3x on streaming, gas and electric vehicle charging, and now also on vacation homes like Airbnb and VRBO. And then you get 2x on all other travel purchases. But now here's some tricks in order to really maximize some of these multipliers here, particularly with online grocery shopping. If you order curbside orders or even home delivery, that is an easy switch to make instead of shopping in person to trigger that 3x points back. But another way is that if you are shopping in store and your preferred grocery store has an app and you can add your Chase Sapphire Preferred to that app, that will also trigger the 3x multiplier. And so I believe this is possible with places like Publix, Kroger, and I think even Amazon Fresh, and of course many more. So if that might be an option for you, give it a shot, add your card on there, pay through their app, and see if that triggers as 3x points on your credit card statement or on the Chase app. And again, that should count even if you're shopping in person if you're going through that app. And then now we've also got the 3x back on streaming, which it covers all the obvious usual choices, but there might be a backdoor way of getting 3x points back on even more subscriptions if you route the app or service subscription. And the way that goes is if you route a purchase of like a subscription of some type of service through your iPhone's app store, like if they have an app, you can purchase the subscription through their app, and it should bill through the Apple Store and potentially get coded as a streaming charge, allowing you to get 3x on something that would normally earn 1x back. However, I will say that this is very hit and miss with data points on both sides verifying and denying this, so maybe avoid any super big changes. Also, I've noticed some companies or apps charge more to subscribe for a service through the app than directly on their website online, so definitely compare prices first. You don't want to burn real money chasing a few points here. And then here are a few more ways to earn some bonus points with some limited time promotions. One new one this year is with Paze, that's P-A-Z-E. It's a new digital wallet or checkout service similar to PayPal. They're currently partnered with a handful of merchants, but through December 31st, 2026, Chase is offering 10x points back when you make a purchase through Paze using a number of qualified Chase cards, including the Sapphire Preferred, but also many others. And so this is true at least at the time of recording. It's a very sweet deal, so I do fear that it will end before that start date, but you can read more about it in the link below in the description. And then you can also earn 5x points back on Lyft rides and on Peloton gear over $150. And those two benefits are supposed to last until 2027. So it's worth knowing about if you use either of these services naturally so you can use the right card when purchasing them. But speaking of stuff that you might already be using in your life, that brings us to the DoorDash benefit that comes with this card. The Sapphire Preferred offers a free Dash Pass membership, which gets rid of delivery fees and reduces the service fee on your purchases. On top of that, you do get a $10 credit each month to spend on non-restaurant or food delivery orders, things like groceries, convenience stores, and other general retail options. But your total has to be at least $20 in order to be eligible for this credit. So honestly, with the markup, the tip, and the service fee, you're not really getting too much value from the actual $10 credit. But I will say the reduced service fees and no delivery fees in general is handy if you do already use DoorDash, maybe for work or something like that. Or if you need something in a pinch. Like while traveling one time, I needed a USB cable or something to charge a device, and I was able to just get that delivered to the hotel and saved a tiny bit of cash, but a lot of headache and time. But there's one more tip here to get real value from this Dash Pass benefit here. And it's not necessarily related to the Chase Sapphire Preferred, but just with Dash Pass itself. And so here's how that goes. Just don't tell anyone I'm telling you, okay? But if you go to DoorDash and you search for gift cards, you'll see the option for the gift card store with the Dash Pass symbol next to it. So that's how you know you're in the right place. And then usually at the top here, you will see some promotions that get you discounted gift cards from all kinds of retailers. Sometimes it's 10% off, sometimes it's 15% or more. It just depends on what's going on at the time. And so this is an easy way to get a discounted gift card at a number of different places, but the main key here is to make sure that you're reading through the terms of each promotion, because there are limits on the number of times that you can use this per month or a maximum discount you can get per month. And so when you go to check out with whatever gift card in your cart, you should see the discount on the checkout page. It's not like a statement credit. So you get the discount up front whenever you purchase it, and whenever you do, you get that gift card pretty instantaneously, so you can use it kind of off the cuff. It'll get texted or emailed to you, but just know that there's always going to be a cap on how much you can use it every month, and then it'll renew for you to use again the following month. Typically, you'll see a cap of $10 or $25. So if you maximize this perk annually, getting $10 a month, that's a potential extra $120 in value that you're getting from this card. And so now, speaking of additional value, that leads us a nice little segue to a benefit that lets you collect small wins, and that's by activating the merchant offers offered by your Chase Sapphire Preferred. They're simply called Chase offers. And this is where you can get discounts on various merchants just by using your card and activating the offer before you use it. The cool part about it is that they even sometimes team up with local places. So you might see a local restaurant there from time to time. And then, of course, from other major brands as well. And so this can range to as little as 3 to 5%, but sometimes it's even $8, $20 back based on what it is that they're requiring you to purchase. So it's definitely worth, whenever you're going into your app or on the website, to just click and add all of those offers. Now, if you want a tool that will automatically do this in one single click whenever you log in, I personally like to use a tool called SaveWise. You'll need the pro version of the tool in order to activate these offers with one click, but it is a very useful tool that will help you earn points as well via shopping portals and giving you opportunities to stack multiple offers and discounts in one. So you can learn more about it in the link down below as well. This card also now comes with a new TSA PreCheck or global entry credit worth $120. And then finally, you can get a complimentary 1-year subscription to Apple TV Plus, or you can get a $7.50 monthly credit towards an Apple One subscription if you prefer. But now let's talk about some of the benefits that aren't really money earning, but money saving. And these don't really feel exciting until the day you actually need them. And it's this laundry list of travel protections that Chase offers, which for the Sapphire Preferred being a lower tier $95 card, these are still some of the best protections available to most credit cards out there, even when compared to some of the premium cards. So before giving you any details, I'll have to recommend that you look deeply into the terms of each of these benefits so you truly understand what is and what isn't covered and under which circumstances. In fact, a pro tip here for you is to take a PDF benefits guide that is dense with all the terms and load them into an AI tool like Notebook LM, and then just ask it questions in terms of what is and isn't covered based on what the document says. And then again, before diving in, to activate these benefits, you will need to pay at least a portion of your trip with the Chase Sapphire Preferred, and that's all it requires. It's just the portion, with the exception that if you want to activate the rental car benefits, you need to pay the full amount of the rental car with your card. So if you're using points and miles to book a flight, you should use this card to pay the leftover taxes and fees, even if it's $5.60. So that way the trip will be covered by the protections that this card has. And now some of these protections include trip cancellation, where it'll reimburse you up to $10,000 on prepaid itineraries if it is canceled for a covered reason like illness, severe weather, that kind of thing. And baggage delay insurance, which can cover meals and hotels up to a certain dollar amount. Again, super useful to be aware of them and to know how to make a claim if it's ever needed. I'll have a link down below for you to learn more about that. And for the rental car coverage I mentioned earlier, the Sapphire Preferred is especially useful because it offers you primary coverage of the vehicle with reimbursement of up to $75,000 for theft and collision damage for most rental vehicles in the United States and overseas. But like I said, you need to put the full amount on your Sapphire card and decline the car rental company's collision insurance, otherwise called the collision damage waiver or CDW. But again, there are some exclusions and terms to be aware of within the benefits guide. And one last note here, Chase actually just added the benefit of emergency evacuation and transportation. So if you're injured or become sick on a trip that's 100 miles or more from home and it results in an emergency evacuation of some sort, you can be covered for medical services and transportation of up to $100,000, which is awesome. Now, I really doubt that $100,000 is enough to cover a medical evacuation, so I definitely look into a health travel insurance plan to have as well, but it's nice to have in your back pocket in case you're going on a small trip that doesn't require it and you end up in a bind. So now that we've got the benefits added, let's talk about a feature of this card that a lot of people don't realize that is available to them. You see, Chase has a whole family of no annual fee cards. You've got the Freedom Unlimited, the Freedom Flex, the Ink Business Unlimited, and the Ink Business Cash. On their own, these are cashback cards. But if you hold the Sapphire Preferred, you can pull rewards off those cards and put them into your Sapphire account. And once you do that, that cashback turns into ultimate rewards, which means you can now redeem those in the more valuable ways possible with this card, which we'll get into. So in a way, these no annual fee cards are also earning ultimate rewards like the Sapphire Preferred is, so you can take advantage of their unique earning multipliers on various spending categories, like how the Freedom Flex earns 5% cash back on rotating quarterly categories. That now makes it so that it earns 5 ultimate rewards points instead. And the sharing goes even further. If your spouse or someone else in your household has a Sapphire Preferred, a Chase Sapphire Reserve, or an Ink Preferred, then y'all two can combine points with each other and pull everything toward one goal. So that way you could work towards one trip altogether instead of having 2 half piles sitting in separate accounts that you have to figure out how to use. So at this point, we've covered how to get more than your annual's fees worth of value just from the benefits alone. We learned how to earn as many points as possible with its earning multipliers and how we could save a lot of our own cash in the case of any travel hiccups and emergencies. And now with this point sharing feature, you can funnel a nice mountain of points into one place to use. But that leads to the question, how the heck do we use them to squeeze the most value out of this card? Well, here there's 2 main ways to use this for travel. The first is Chase's Points Boost feature, and it only works inside the Chase travel portal that we covered at the start of the video. Anytime you book travel there, you can pay with points instead of cash. And for most itineraries, your points are worth around 1 cent each, which means you're essentially just getting cash back, where 100 points knocks off $1 from the price. This Points Boost feature, however, boosts that value up on select bookings. Instead of getting $1 from 100 points, you'll get up to $1.75, but only on select hotels and premium cabin flights. And now, instead of saying that we get $1.75 from 100 points, in geek speak, we say 1.75 cents per point. So that's the vernacular I'll be using from here. But just know that the higher the number, the more value you're getting. But anyway, the key words here that I've been using is up to. Here's a hotel showing that top 1.75 cent rate that I mentioned, but for every one option like this one, you'll scroll past 10 more sitting closer to the 1.1 or 1.3 range. And quick side note here, Chase won't actually show you that cent per point value, that label on those screenshots. That actually comes from a tool I covered in another video, which is linked up above. But to find these boosted options yourself, and you can filter for points boost only on the Chase travel portal page, and each option will have a little blue little rocket next to them. But now the catch with the flights portion is that the biggest boosts tend to land on the expensive business class fares. So even at the highest return of 1.75 cents per point, you're likely going to be handing over hundreds of thousands of points for a one-way seat to Europe. It's fine if you've got points to burn, but I imagine that's probably not the case for most people. So that's the points boost option. I consider it the floor in terms of the value that you can get from your points aside from cash back. And it could be useful in a pinch and in some circumstances where the hotel you want has a higher boost option, but it's nowhere near the ceiling because the second way to redeem is where the value really is. And that's by transferring your points out to Chase's transfer partners. You see, Chase lets you move your ultimate rewards points straight into one of these other airline and hotel programs that Chase partners with. Once you move those points out of Chase into one of these other loyalty programs, then you can book the hotel or flight using their prices instead of Chase's. And that gap between what Chase charges and what this partner's program would charge instead is what the whole world of this points and miles stuff is built on. And so that's how 1 cent per point can turn into 2, 5, or sometimes more. And here's what that could look like in real life. There's this one-way business class flight to Europe that runs about 300,000 points in the portal, and that's the boosted price. But if you transfer to the right partner instead, and if it's available, it's more like 60,000 points plus around $350 in taxes, and still with a quality airline and a perfectly nice business class lie flat seat. But now, knowing that this is possible and knowing how to actually pull it off are two very different things. You've got the questions of which partner to pick, how to find award seats, how to transfer the points, and I'll be the first to say that there is quite a bit of a learning curve to this, but stick with it because once it clicks, the same points you'll want to shrug off into the portal can turn into a lifetime of memories. So from here, you can see more about what Chase's transfer partners can do where I rank them in this video here, or you can browse this playlist for more videos about how to redeem your points. I'll see you in the next one.